Hi, this is Sean. I'm going to help you guys how to fill out non-immigrant visa for US. It could be a visit visa or it could be business visa. So I'm going to go slowly, step by step, and I want you to learn how to do it. You don't need any lawyer or anybody to do this for you. So first thing first, you're going to go to this website. I'm going to put that on the Word. That way you can go back and get that. That's the first website that you're gonna go to, and you will get this U.S. State Department. So first thing is you need to find out what country you are filling this application out to. So I'm gonna do Pakistan, Karachi. That's what I'm gonna do. So and then you gotta type in um, this code is JVXSJ and then start a new application. You click that, it's going to give you this. So make sure you remember your application ID. Okay, so what you do is you copy and go to the Word and paste it there. That's the make sure you remember that. I would take a picture of that. So next thing is it's gonna ask you agree to all this information, and then it's gonna ask you secret questions. So what is your mother given middle name or any of these questions? So let's pick up what is the middle name of your youngest child? So I'm gonna put it Ahmed. Okay, so you guys continue. So now you're gonna fill out information here, surname. So it could be any surname. So make it Smith, and given name is your first name. So Smith Jim. Okay. If you know other, if your native language is different, you can put um, that language there. But I just ignored that. Not a big deal. All right. Next thing is, have you ever been named other name? If you use any other name, you click yes. Otherwise, press no. Next thing, do you have a tally code to just press no? If you do, you just press yes. Sex, you pick what male or female. I'm gonna pick male. Your status, you married, single. So I'm gonna do single. If you're married, you press married. Then date of birth. I'm gonna just put temporary date of birth. Um, City where you were born at. So I'm gonna put Karachi. Then state or province. In some country, it's province, Sindh. And if you don't have a province, you please click Do Not Apply. Then you pick the country, what country you're from. So pick the country. That's about it. And then you go next. Next thing is nationality. What nationality are you? You cannot be American because you're applying for a American visa, so you gotta pick some other nationality. So I picked Pakistani citizenship. I have, and then do you have any other nationality? So you click no. If you do, you press yes, and then you gotta type in what nationality you have. So are you permanent resident for another country? If you do, you press yes. If you don't, press no. Then you gotta put your Pakistani ID or whatever country you are. You gotta pick that. You do not have Social Security because you're not American. You don't have a U.S. ID, taxpayer ID, so you press do not accept. Next thing is, well, in your ID, if there's any dash or brackets, that does not work here. So you gotta just put in the straight number. Okay. Next thing is purpose of the trip to the U.S. There's a bunch of options there. You can go NATO. You can go, different options you got there. What I is a temporary business pleasure visa. That's what I'm applying for. So you click that, and then it's business and tourism, B1, B2 visa. So you click that, And the next thing is, have you made your specific plans? If you made your plans, you press yes, and then you type in your plans. If you haven't made your plans, you press no, and you intend to come when. So you put the date on when you would like to come. And then next thing is how long you're gonna stay. So 1 month. The address you were staying here is that's what you need to put. Um, Here, 1234 West Glendale Road, Chicago, Illinois. You gotta know the address where you're gonna visit. So I just made up the address there, 60660, and then who's gonna pay for this trip? Self, mother, whoever paying. I press type in self. Next um, thing is person travel with you. If anybody travel with you, if somebody is, you press yes, and then you go from there. But if nobody's traveling with you, press no, and then go next. Then you will have a bunch of questions to answer. Have you ever been to U.S.? If you do, you put it there, yes, and then you put the information. No, you press no. Have you ever been issued a visa? If you yes, you gotta tell when. No, then you press no. Have you ever been refused to a visa? If yes, you gotta let them know. If no, if you have not, then press no. Make sure you do not lie to these information. They have every information in their system. So next thing is, has anyone ever filled a petition for you? If somebody's petition for you already in U.S., you most probably you will not get a visa if because you're in the process to get uh, permanent residence for U.S. So anyway, so I'm gonna say no because I'm applying for a visit visa for somebody. So press no, and then go next is the address where you live, home address. So I'm gonna just put in some fake address, Nazmabad, um, 30 something, and send, and the zip code 736 or something. I don't know. So and then what country is that? You press Pakistan. So this is how it is. You gotta put, actually it's Karachi, and Nazabad is this one. Nazabad. Okay. Next thing is mailing address where you live. If it's different than this, then you press yes. And is your mailing address the same? If same, then you press yes. If no, then you gotta give your other mailing address. Most probably you guys have the same address. So then the phone number, 92 whatever, and then secondary number if there is. If not, then you press this. Work. If you have a work phone number, you type it in. Otherwise, you press no. Have you used any other phone number? Just press no. And then email address. You gotta give some kind of email address. So I'm gonna just give some made up address. Um, Sean 1234. Okay, I'm gonna made up that address. I'm gonna make sure this address, because this is just made up, because you may need the same address um, on other application on other site too. So that's why I wrote it down. So have you used any other email address? No. And then social media. They want to know what social media you use. If you use someone, then you gotta give them your content. So I'm gonna just say none. And do you provide information prisons? Just press no, and then click next. All right, now you gotta get the passport information. If you're irregular, then regular passport. If it's official diplomat, then there's different story. But regular passport with passport number and then passport book number, same should be same. Pakistan, where was the passport was traveled or issued from? So where was it issued? So Karachi, CHI, and state in Pakistan, and the date was issued and expiry date. So that's what you make sure you put that in there. And then, have you ever lost your passport? If yes, then you gotta let them know. If no, then don't worry about it. Contact person in U.S. So contact person in U.S. You gotta tell them what's your contact person. If it's an organization, you put an organization name. Otherwise, just ignore it. Um, Relationship to that person. You can say other friends. Let's do the friend, and then you gotta give them the address of the friend. So you gotta make sure you have the address of the person who lives in US, and that way I'll make sure there's no dash between the numbers and their email address. If you don't want to give them their email address, you don't have to. Click next. um, Father's name, and you gotta, if you're young you probably know your father's name, so you put in your father's name, your mother's name, his date of birth. I am not gonna put it. You don't have to put in, but if you want to you can. Same thing with the mother. You got to put all that information. Do you have any intimate relative not included the parents in U.S.? If you do, you got to say yes. If you don't, then you got to say no. If you do, you got to tell them where and what's the relationship. Do you have any other relative in U.S.? Nope. So if you do, you got to pray yes, and then got to make sure you let them know. The next thing is education and occupation. What do you do? Are you businessman? You engineer? Whatever you are, retired, housewife, homemaker, government, whatever, education, or I'm gonna say, uh, health health worker or homemaker. But let's do the business, and then you put in present employer. So United, for example, and then their address where you're employed at. So in Karachi. So you gotta put in all that information and zip code and then number and then Karachi and then what day you started the job. You gotta make sure you tell them that, and your income. If you don't want to tell them, that's okay. You don't need to tell them. And your duty, cleaning, for example. You gotta cleaning. All right. The next thing is, were you previously employed? Yes. If you were, if no, you don't have to give it to them. So you press no. Have you attended any education institute at the secondary level or above? If you did, you press yes. If no, just ignore it. All right. Next thing is, these questions are very important. Do you belong to a clan or tribe? Because you don't know anything about this, so you press no. Okay. If you do, you gotta tell them. Have you traveled any country that are within the last 5 years? If you traveled anywhere else, you gotta pick up the name. If you did not, don't worry about it. If you did, make sure you let them know. That way they see that you've been traveling quite a bit. So, next thing, have you belonged to, contributing to, or work on a professional to any organization? So, charity organization. If you did, yes. If no, don't worry about it. Do you specialize skills? If you know any skills, specialized firearm or your chemical or some biological nursing or anything, you gotta let them know. Otherwise, don't worry about it. Have you ever served in the military? Yes, if you did. No, if you did. If you did a 2 months training, that doesn't count. You served in the military. Next thing, have you ever served in being member of the parliament. So if you were politicians, you gotta let them know. Otherwise, don't worry about it. Next thing, um, do you belong to a? No, I don't know why. Language name. If you know any other language, so all right, you go press next. And do you have disease or any health condition? You gotta let them know. You have a mental problem. You gotta let them know. Are you have been abused or drug abuser? You gotta let them know if you do. Next thing, have you ever been arrested? If you have, let them know. Violated any laws? You gotta let them know if you did. Are you coming to U.S. on engagement in prostitution? If you are coming to make some money, you gotta let them know, but most probably no. Have you ever been involved in some engage in money laundering? If you did, let them know. Same thing, human trafficking, let them know. Have you ever knowledge aid or something? Human trafficking again, let them know if you did. Are you a spouse or son or who have committed or comes through human trafficking? Gotta let them know. So, do you seek to engage any activity violation or something? Let them know if you're planning for some craziness. Do you see activity? You gotta let them know. Terrorist activity. Have you ever intended financial assistance or support to the terrorist? Let them know. If you have any plans, same thing in an organization. You have your terrorist organization. Same thing again. If you are ordered, intend to commit, assist, or genocide, let them know. Have you committed order? So no. Committed order? No. Have you ever engaged in? No. Have you direct? So no. Have you? You gotta read all this. Most probably no, but if you have some organ donors, organ tissue, something, you gotta let them know. All right. Last question. Last two questions. Have you ever sought to obtain an assistant to a visa illegally? So you let them know. Have you been removed or deported? If you did, you gotta let them know. Otherwise, don't worry about it. Have you ever withheld a custody child? No. If you did, let them know. Have you voted? If you're not citizen, you cannot vote. So if you voted, you gotta let them know. Have you renounced citizenship? If you did, you gotta let them know. Otherwise, skip it. All right. Final thing is the picture. So what you need is a picture of yourself. So I'm gonna show you what size of the picture that you need to get. For example, this one. Let me get that. Okay, so the picture size is this kind. So what you do is upload the pictures. There it is. So you upload the picture and then you go press next, and this is leave the page. All right, this is how it's gonna look like. Okay, when you do this, it's gonna look like this, and then you press travel. Okay, and then it will give you a little your appointment letter. Appointment, it's not appointment, it's just like a registration, and that will you need to print that out and take that with you to the interview. But this is not finished. This is not a. This is one step. I'm gonna make another video because it's been 20 minutes now. So I'm gonna make another video to tell you what other step you're gonna do. So make sure you remember this. You do this, and then you will get a little certificate, and that will get you to the next step. So Okay, please subscribe to my channel, and I'm gonna keep making these videos. This is part one of this, and then I'm gonna make a part two, and then we go from there. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.